We all love a deal, and my guess is that fast fashion and disposable clothing became very popular because suddenly we could have great style at a cheap price. Cheap price, great style, and an abundance of inventory was suddenly available. And we literally bought into it. We had fashion editors and influencers and celebrities and even friends promoting the fabulousness of cheap clothing. However, like an all-you-can-eat buffet at McDonald's, it was a really bad idea. Now, clothing manufacturing is a very, very complicated subject. What I'm going to try to do in this video is highlight the problems with fast fashion and then give you a few tips to help you shop for clothes that are produced more thoughtfully. If you have any questions about this subject and I don't get around to answering them, please leave them in the comment bar below and I'll try and answer them as best I can. Here's problem number one. Fast fashion allows us to buy a lot more clothing. Clothing that is cheaply made and actually produced to go out of style. And what we end up with is a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear. Here's an interesting fact. In the 60s, we bought an average of 25 pieces of clothing a year. Today, we buy an average of 75 pieces of clothing, a lot of which end up in landfill, which brings me to problem number two. The environment. Landfill has definitely increased since the onset of fast fashion, but it's not the only problem. Clothing manufacturing is one of the worst polluters, and with the uptick in fast fashion, pollution has gone up exponentially. And here's problem number three, the human cost. 80% of laborers are women. Some are children. Most do not earn a living wage, and most live in poverty. Unfortunately, that's not the worst of it. Workers have actually died in fires and other tragedies sewing for fast fashion companies. All of this so we can have the privilege of buying a pair of jeans for $25. Now here's what we can do. Number one, do the math. If jeans cost $25, that means they're approximately $12.50 wholesale, which means that the cost for cutting fabric, sewing, pressing, packaging, taxes, and freight cost about $6.25. And you can bet the workers were paid almost nothing and the fabric is garbage. Now there is an exception to this rule, and that's this. There are companies now that will go from the cost of the goods right to retail. In other words, they get rid of the wholesaler or the middleman. And you can find these companies just by Googling sustainable clothing manufacturers, which brings me to tip number two, do your homework. There are a lot of great companies out there now that will provide you with a transparent supply chain. They'll even show you pictures of contract shops. Some of them will show you how much the actual cost of the garment actually is. Companies like Everlane. There are a few more. I'm going to leave links to these companies in the description bar below. Here's tip number two. Buy less. When you buy something, when you go to buy something, make sure that you're going to wear it not one season, not 2 seasons, but 2 years, 4 years, even 10 years. Buy quality. Look for details like larger hems and seam allowances. This way you know that the garment was produced more thoughtfully. And above all, buy only pieces that you love. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, eat well, laugh a lot, and be chic.